How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe down there. It helps out, means a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff. Not just Kaiju number 8. We also do One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chojin X, Hunter's Guild Red Hood, bunch of stuff. Anyway, we got to talk about why Kafka can't transform. It's something that has a lot of possible endings. There's a lot of ways that this could be taken, and all of them are completely valid, considering the amount of knowledge we have is pretty little. And considering we have 2 weeks until we get another chapter, as always, we have plenty of time to discuss and mull this over, so why not get this video out now, get the discussion started, and have a little bit of fun with it. So, go down in the comments below. Seriously, I want to know what everybody has to say about this. I want to know everybody's opinions. If any of the ideas I hit are your favorite, or you have different ideas that I haven't heard yet or didn't think of, let me know. I respond to pretty much everybody down below, and I love talking to you guys. So, getting into it, the first idea we have as to why Kafka can't transform is this simply a mental block? This is one that it is very possible, and we have reason to suspect this from how the chapter went and the order in which we saw things happen. So, this idea I initially came up with mainly because, well, we saw him go into partial transformation just fine. There were no issues, no problem. This was kind of the best we've ever seen Kafka in a partial transformation. He was able to dodge a strike from the big kaiju, move over to the side, jump up towards it, punch it in the chest. Granted, he didn't do enough damage, but it's a weaker form. It's not his full transformation. We don't expect it to be that terribly powerful. Then we see him think to himself, okay, partial transformation isn't going to work. It's not strong enough. But I can't. And he thinks about when he was losing control and Kaiju number 8 was just beating Shinomiya into the ground. And then after that, we see him try to fully transform and it doesn't work. So that kind of leads to the thought of, is this simply a mental block? He is not mentally worried about what might happen if he uses partial transformation. He's never partially transformed and lost any kind of control or anything. And he's not strong enough to do that to the likes of, well, a lot of people in the First Division. Most high-ranking people in the First Division could smack Kafka away if he's using partial transformation. Let's just be honest about that. So, yeah, it's not a danger to anybody. He doesn't have any preconceived notions of it going wrong. There's nothing to mentally hold him back from using partial transformation. And then we literally see him worrying about his full transformation in his head, and then all of a sudden he can't do it. And this is the first time we've really seen him try to fully transform while being worried about possibly losing control. So there is the possibility that it's just a mental block that Kafka has to get over. Next one I want to touch on, I don't personally have a ton on this, but it is something I want to bring up. Somebody in the comments on the chapter review brought up number 9's kind of camouflage shielding sort of ability. Back when he first showed up, kind of comms were interrupted and they couldn't really tell what was going on in the area where number 9 was after he showed up. This, I believe, is what we're kind of going off of. This is something I actually forget a lot, and then I hear about the shielding camouflaging thing, and I'm like, what are we talking about? Hang on. And then I kind of start to remember all this stuff. At least I believe that's where we're coming from. If I'm wrong, let me know. I might just be a complete idiot. I mean, I am, but anyway. This, I am not sure how that technique could relate to not being, causing someone else to not be able to transform, but we can get there. I mean, this is definitely something that can easily get around to the end goal. Something I did end up kind of thinking of when mulling this over was the fact that maybe rather than a shielding camouflaging ability, or maybe it is that and part of that, the way he shields and camouflages and does this is it's possibly more of simply a disruptor ability. It disrupts maybe a certain radio wave or brain wave or frequency or something, anything. Disrupts some kind of, some jargon. I mean, you can, it's a fictional universe. You can create any kind of jargon you want. The Hunter's Guild Red Hood did the classic, oh, we're going to make our own special metal that has special properties, and they called it Wolfonium. I hate that word. It's, you can do stuff like that. You're perfectly allowed to. So, yeah, they can make some weird jargon to make it make sense. So, yeah, this could be one of number 9's abilities. And I believe something that was mentioned in the comments, too, was the fact that number 8 was transformed and then showed up to where number 9 was the first time. This time, number 8 was in a relatively close proximity to number 9 because Kafka didn't move at all after he failed to transform, and number 9 was there like that. So unless number 9 can like blitz over from a long distance that quickly, kind of doubt it. So that tells us that Kafka could have already been inside of that field when trying to transform this time, and it's now being disrupted due to some kind of ability that number 9 has. That is also very possible. Initially, I was kind of like, what? But no, we don't know the limits of the ability. We don't know what all it does. We don't know how it works. We don't know any of that stuff. So this is very plausible. Something else that I've heard a couple different people bring up, and this is something I thought about as well, was the fact that, well, the little kaiju guy took over Kafka's body recently, and it went through a big fight with Shinomiya. Kafka ended up jamming his own arm into his chest at the end of it, and this was with the little kaiju guy in control. Maybe the little guy himself is still too weak, hasn't fully recovered, isn't back to full strength, and can't physically handle a full transformation right now. Something I kind of relate this to is it took a while after the fight with Kaiju number 9 originally to where we saw him say, okay, I've molted now, I'm good, I'm back to full strength, I can get back to doing my thing of things. This is possibly the same case for Kaiju number 8. Maybe it hasn't fully healed yet. I don't know if the little parasite Kaiju number 8, I don't know if it's gonna like mold its skin like number 9 did. They seem to have kind of different. Yeah, number 9 is a little more buggy, and number 8's more like skeleton, almost dinosaur-y vibe, almost something like that, kind of Godzilla-y, shrunk down. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think he's gonna molt his skin, but it might be a similar concept where number 9 had to heal and molt and grow into a new body. Number 8 just needs time to regrow the bone and heal everything around it before it can fully do all these things again. So yeah, it might just still be a little bit weak. That's very possible. The last thing I want to cover, and I'm sure there's plenty more ideas you could come up with out there, the last thing I thought of, at least in the general time frame, was maybe the kaiju just isn't happy with Kafka right now. Maybe it is preventing him from trying to transform. Maybe there is a give and take there, and Kafka can partially transform, and the little kaiju can't really stop him from being able to do that. But to use its full capabilities, it has enough strength or enough say to where it goes, no, you're not allowed to use all that, and rips it back. Maybe it's not very happy that Kafka was trying to interfere, and Kafka eventually did interfere with its fight against Shinomiya. I believe during that fight with Shinomiya, it was seeing Isao as Kaiju number 2 because of the weaponry and everything, and I believe it was at least bare minimum giving off the aura that number 2 gave off, and that was what was causing Kaiju number 8 to be so hostile against him. Maybe it's not happy that Kafka did that. Maybe it isn't happy with the fact that Kafka punched a hole in its chest, and his own chest, but also Kaiju number 8's chest. It could just be the fact that there is a misunderstanding or a little bit of ill will there at the moment, and Kafka is going to have to look inside, talk to the little guy again, and be like, hey, I'm sorry, but I couldn't let you do that. That wasn't a kaiju. That was my friend's dad. She ain't even got a mom no more, okay? Like, you gotta chill sometimes, man. I apologize, but for real. So, it might just be something like that. I actually wouldn't mind this being the case. I don't think it would be my favorite direction to take it, but I don't think I would really mind it because it would give us a chance to give the little guy in there a little bit more screen time, which I would like, but also a little bit more personality. And with that little give and take thing between him and Kafka, I think that would be a kind of interesting little concept. Maybe say, hey, maybe if it's a 50-50, that means Kafka can go partial transformation and use 50% of his capacity as Kaiju number 8, but if he wants to dip into that second 50%, that second half, he's going to have permission from Kaiju number 8. Possibly as Kafka gets a little more used to the ability and a little more used to everything, he can start to negate Kaiju number 8's control. Possibly Kaiju number 8, if it wants to take over like it did previously, it would have to get Kafka's consent and couldn't just randomly take over his own body. But there's a train going by my house. I hope I can kind of get that out in editing. I'm going to try and talk a little bit loud for the end and maybe just bring it down. But hey, yeah, this is pretty much all I had to say for the video anyway, so we can kind of go ahead and get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Seriously, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you have any ideas that we didn't cover in the video, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.